This is a box of eggs. Nothing unusual in that. Not eggs that we have produced ourselves. These are fertilised eggs, and we've just bought a dozen of them. They are from a breed called cream leghorns, and they lay a sort of bluish greenish coloured egg. Now, fertilised eggs, as they are, which means that we're going to have a go at raising some hens ourselves. And for Christmas I got an incubator, and today for the first time we're going to try it out. This is the incubator, just a mini one, and it's set to the temperature for hen's eggs. As you can see on there, we've marked one side of the egg with a cross because we need to turn these over every, I think it's 3 times a day, so we'll know with the cross on that we've actually turned them over. Now this one takes, well, it's meant to take 10 hen's eggs, but some of these are quite small, so hopefully it will take the full dozen. And these were laid within the last 7 days, so the incubation period is 21 days, so hopefully within about 2.5 weeks we'll have some chicks hatching from here. Now in the middle is this section here, which contains a little bit of water, and that is just to make sure that there's some humidity in the air. And that is this one here is the final egg. So, yep, room for a dozen, and I'm just going to get the top and put that on, being ever so careful. That's it. And most of the crosses have managed to stay on top. So what we'll do is we'll keep an eye on this for the next 2 weeks, and hopefully in a couple of weeks' time we'll have some chicks. 3 weeks ago today, here in our spare room in the house, we set up our incubator, and for the last 2.5 weeks I came in 3 times a day to turn the eggs, and we topped up the water in the little container in the middle of the incubator to make sure that there was the right humidity in the incubator. And then partway through this week I stopped turning the eggs, because that's what you're meant to do 2 or 3 days before they're due to hatch. Now we expected them to hatch sometime midweek, and I kept my eye on them and nothing happened. And by last night, which is nearly 3 weeks after we got the eggs, and it's a 3-week incubation period for hen's eggs, by last night I'd more or less given up on them ever hatching, and I came in here for one last look in the hope that I might see some of them hatching, and there was no sign of any activity. And then I heard a little chirping sound coming from one of the eggs. This is the scene that greeted us this morning. One of the chicks has hatched, and there are 1 or 2 other eggs in there, including the one that's right next to the chick there, which is just starting to hatch as well. Now we can't take the cover off the incubator, so well, certainly not for a day or so, and that little chick there is looking a bit exhausted after hatching out, but I think he or she is about to have one or two little brothers and sisters as well. You can see there that it looks like another little chick is starting to peck its way through the shell. As you can see, most of the eggs have now hatched. We've had 8 hatch so far. There were 12 eggs in there to start with. One got broken and we had to throw that out. Another one got damaged and we know it was not going to hatch. And another 2 haven't hatched, which may hatch over the next day or so, but I'm a bit doubtful about it. However, as you can see, they're lovely little chicks. And we are now going to put these into the brooder, because these chicks have hatched and have been in here for a day, and they need that time in there to recover from the hatching, to dry out and build up their strength. And they've got sufficient nutrients and energy from the eggs to be able to survive for a day or so in what would naturally be the nest. But now is the time for them to go into the brooder. This is our brooder. It's an old fish tank that's sat in our garage for years. Haven't used it since my last goldfish died about 12 years ago. That yellow contraption is the brooder itself. That's the heater, the chick heater, and I'll just show you around the edge there. The chicks will keep warm underneath there, and what we've done in the corners is use some cardboard to fill in the corners and actually get away from that 90-degree bend there. And that stops them all huddling in the corner and any little chick being crushed in the corner. On the floor is an old tea towel, and underneath that is some newspaper. See, that is a cream leghorn, just about a day old. What we've done is we've added water in a container there, and this is some of the chick feed, and we'll get that for about 3 weeks, or maybe a bit longer. We've seen different instructions on how long this meant to get that. As you can see here, this one was the one that was broken, so that feels very lightweight. I don't think there's anything in there. The other 2, we'll give them a day, so we'll have the incubator back on, but that one I'm pretty certain there's nothing in there, so we'll remove that. So there we go, our first little hatchery.